Good morning, happy Monday, and welcome to SJU. I am so happy to be joined by these wonderful people today. And may I mention that at the bottom of the screen, we have representing the quarantine decline, where Spencer and I just need more and more caffeine and wine.
Whoa, I'm doing fine.
You look beautiful.
Did something happen to my face? Jesus.
There's glowy and dewy, and I think he looks wonderful.
I meant just me. I may have said Spencer. I'm just looking for
companionship. You refer to the bottom of the screen.
I'm just looking
that
for
I share with you
here. I'm looking for someone to connect with here, Spencer. God, I chose you.
It's a beautiful young dad doing beautiful young dad.
I think I'm holding up pretty well for the babiness of it all. Yesterday was Mother's Day. I have like 3 moms in Los Angeles alone.
You're doing fabulous. I couldn't be more proud of you. You're doing wonderful. You combed your hair. You look great. You smell great from what I can tell. Everything's going really well. Above me, I got to say, I have the picture of how to do quarantine in Danielle Radford, who just gets more and more fabulous every single day.
Just buying more wigs, Roth. Just buying more wigs.
I love it. You look amazing. And then Joe Starr over here also...
losing my mind. So, just clippers and a continuously disassembling sense of reality.
It's anime hair. Top row is anime hair.
It's anime hair. It reminds me a little bit of what Edward Scissorhands would have looked like if he was a real boy, too. So that's also nice. Happy Monday.
I call it a cry for help.
I call my entire face quarantine desperation mode.
I'm actually hoping to achieve a man bun status by the end of quarantine.
Ooh.
I think
I'm looking to go
there.
full Jon Snow.
Yeah, I think you can get there. But the thing is this about Joe's look. Joe's look's going to play back to a question that we have later in the show. So he actually was thinking ahead like a great producer does. We're going to talk about Boba Fett and The Mandalorian Season 2, but stick around because we're also going to decide what Nick Cage should steal in National Treasure 3. The important things are happening right here, right today on SJU, starting right now with Boba Fett is back. This is via THR and Variety. Tamura Morrison will appear in season 2 of The Mandalorian as Boba Fett. And sources with knowledge of the series have confirmed this. So Disney did not immediately respond, so they have not confirmed this. And if I have mispronounced his name, please forgive me immediately. Morrison played notably Jango Fett and the adult clone troopers in Attack of the Clones. So given that Boba is a clone of Jango, it makes sense that he would play him as an adult. So these rumors have been going around for a while that Boba Fett, first of all, Boba Fett rumors have been happening, I think, for the past 10 years.
Since the character emerged, I think.
Yeah.
Since he showed up.
Since he showed up, people have been fascinated by Boba Fett. And since we had the new Star Wars movies in development, but I think even before that, there were still rumors about Boba. I think I started a rumor about Boba Fett.
What was your rumor about Boba Fett?
I legitimately think I did because...
I hear he likes Tracy.
I hear he slept with Lisa behind Tracy's back.
But we'll never know because he never takes off the helmet.
Yeah, we'll never know. We can't say if
it's a Revenge of the Nerd situation.
It's a really upsetting. I was just going to say that's a very upsetting call back to Revenge of the Nerd, so it could be very upsetting. Joe Johnston, who directed the first Captain America movie, do you guys remember that? So he helped design. Yeah. Remember this in Captain America? He helped design Boba Fett, a small indie film. He helped design from France. He helped design Boba Fett. And so one of course, like as a journalist, you're just like, well, I don't know, what else can I get out of these 10 minutes that we have together? So I'm like, oh yeah, did you show George Lucas anything about Captain America? Since he's been a mentor of yours, which obviously he didn't because he has nothing to do with the Marvel movies. But then at that time he was like, no, but we talk all the time about making a Boba Fett movie. So I think literally it's been years that we've said there's going to be a Boba Fett movie, there's going to be a Boba Fett TV show, but he's going to show up on The Mandalorian, which for me, I think that's where Boba Fett belongs versus any further exploration and deep dives into the backstory of the character. Other people may feel differently about that, including you, Joe Starr. Dave Filoni has done some great Boba Fett work in the animated series.
Yeah, but he's also just like, he's still a side character, right? Like, and you can flesh out your side characters a little bit, but I think that is where he belongs, is like a supporting role. And it looks like if Mandalorian season 2 follows the same structure as season 1 with here's a standalone, here's a standalone, here's a standalone. Hey, it all tied up. Look at that. I think they've definitely like cranked up the ladder for how important those standalone episodes are going to be. Like they definitely cranked up their special guests. If it's going to be Ahsoka Tano for one and Boba Fett for another one. But yeah, I think that's a good use for him. Drop him in every now and then. He's the icing, not the cake.
Danielle, viewers were talking about this also because it seemed that you could see his shadow over the dead, is she dead? Body of bounty hunter Fennec Shand Ming-Na Wen, played by Ming-Na Wen. Is she dead?
You can't kill Ming-Na.
So. I don't think that you waste Ming-Na on. I think that she's someone that you have come back for sure. If you cast Ming-Na, you bring that Ming-Na back. I'm interested. One thing that interests me is it going to be the case where they actually do it the way they are handling the Mando, where you have essentially like a body actor, someone who knows how to do like all of the big broad, like how to act with their body and then do a voice over it? Or is he going to be without the helmet all the time? Because if you have two actors in that space where it's two people doing a lot of body work and then two people in a VO booth, I mean, everyone who does that work on the show has been really amazing. I'm interested to see what would happen if you get like the two of them in a room with there's just no eyeballs. I don't know. Just as an actor, that's something that I'm like thinking about because I don't know. I want to see the sexual tension, obviously, and you can't do it with the helmets on. But
Right.
Yeah, they'll be in the shower scene together.
Yeah, but with the helmet.
Naked from the neck down.
Yeah.
I mean, Danielle, they'll make out, but it won't be with their faces.
Clang, 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 clang.
Yeah, you'll get what you need. I feel pretty confident that they're not going to let you down.
The Spurs might have been a call to him because in the Aftermath books, the trilogy, the Chuck Wendig trilogy that came out to sort of fill in everything that had been going on since Return of the Jedi, there was like this weird like man with no name type new sheriff in town character they were like alluding to in another story that was supposedly Boba Fett. So they might have very full well just gone like full Clint Eastwood with Boba.
He got out of that pit.
Everything. Yep.
Did they ever explain how he got out of that pit? How did he get out of that pit?
A few times they have, I think.
Okay.
I think we
honestly, I think if I remember in the books, in the old like extended universe books, I think it was literally just like he was way too cool to get swallowed up, so he
just spit him back out.
But yeah, it was like, whoa, you're way too rad to just eat.
Ooh, cool. Gross.
He said not today to the god of death. Here's one question I have for you. Speaking of helmets, thank you, Danielle. Spencer, I don't actually think I know how you feel about The Mandalorian.
I love The Mandalorian.
I really like it too, but I will admit, I think Caleb, my boyfriend, and I have very, very different reactions to the helmet. He loves the commitment and he loves that it's on the whole time. But I don't, because the only character that I can emotionally relate to, and I emotionally relate to it really hard, is the baby, but it's Pedro Pascal. He's an incredible actor, and I never see him acting on this show. I mean, outside of his voice work, which is great, as you mentioned, Danielle. And I know this is an unpopular opinion because I get it. Like they're committed. They have the helmet, Mandalorian, blah blah blah. I just want to see his face sometimes.
Oh. Well, yeah. I mean, they're doing a lot of work with score, and like Danielle said, a lot of work with their bodies. And you can have all these supporting characters without masks, and the exact opposite of a Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. It's the perfect pairing because that thing is all the emotions are on its face. I think they're doing great work. I don't think Boba Fett has been cool since the holiday special. I think that was the only good use of him to date, was him riding a dinosaur, shooting lightning out of a bass guitar. That was sick. And then he's completely sucked from the original trilogy to today. But if one show is going to redeem him, it will be The Mandalorian.
Agreed. Well, but that's a lot of pressure, quite frankly. I mean, I also think about that is when a character has been as weirdly beloved and also reviled and criticized as Boba Fett. It's a lot of pressure for the show. It's a lot of pressure for Favreau and whoever's directing that episode to get it right.
I trust Filoni on that one. He loves him, them clones. He loves him, that actor. So I do. I think that if the decision was made to bring Boba Fett in, I don't believe that they have to have a plan. I'm trusting that because it seems like this is very much like they have a plan. They know exactly what they want to do. Filoni knows all of this universe, like the back of his hand, his mom's hand, like all of his descendants' hands, every hand that's ever been, as well as any of the like expanded universe and things that are no longer canon and things that are no longer lore. And so when you put that together, I do think that it's going to be something very interesting and good, but also like the first season earned my trust. So I'm very much like, I'm on board. I'm going to wait and see what happens before I start making like a real hard, like, no, I don't want to see that. Or, yay, I'm super into it. I'm just going to see what happens. The first season was amazing. I trust Filoni to know what he's doing. So I'm letting go and letting God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, first of all, good advice all around. Second of all, I'm just impressed with his overall hand knowledge. I just didn't like that's also equally impressive. Handologist. Yeah. Here's a question I have about Dave Filoni, because we've been talking about him a lot lately, and I think it's true. Like if we're seeing characters that he worked with in the animated series making their transition to live action, he didn't again invent Boba Fett, but he had him in the series. He had Ahsoka's gonna show up in live action. That looks towards a trend of him working with characters that he's both familiar with and loves, and kind of has a vision for. But are we giving Jon Favreau not enough credit now? Also, I mean, he's still,
Oh, I think no. This is I know that in Star Wars in general, everyone it's everyone's instinct to just immediately crap their pants when anyone talks about Dave Filoni, and rightfully so. But I think he's right where he's supposed to be. He's sort of behind the scenes. He's helping. He's advising. He's writing. He's learning. And yeah, this is absolutely Favreau as a really fantastic showrunner. Because I'm sure as many times as he listens and says, "Hell yeah, let's do it" to Dave Filoni, I'm sure a lot of the time he goes, "Okay, hang on, I made chef" to Dave Filoni. So
that's what he pulls out.
Is that what he calls it? Is it chef?
It's chef. Okay. He's always like, whoa, I made chef.
I mean, he's
like Scarlett Johansson noodles.
Yeah. I made chef's money, baby.
And those noodles, never mind.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did. They sure did.
They did.
But I do think, Filoni's been making a lot of long plays with Clone Wars and with Rebels, and I think we'll see them pay off, with Ahsoka coming back and Morrison coming back to play Boba Fett. The other long play that they've been, I think, building up to is Rex, the clone. The guy that survived the end of Clone Wars with Ahsoka. We saw him in Rebels, and he's sort of a bigger dude at that point with a big bushy beard, and they clearly designed him after the random big bushy beard guy in the Assault of Endor. Which I was really pumped about, because that was like the only guy I cared about in Return of the Jedi when I was a kid, was that one guy in camo with the giant beard, because I was like, that guy has a story, and he does apparently. So yeah, I think they've been making a lot of little long-term plays and planting a lot of seeds, and so I think it's cool that they're getting to play out and pay off.
All right, cool. I think we're all on board with it. That's the conclusion that I've come to about this. Stay tuned. I was just like, is there anything else? No, we're good. I feel good. I feel complete. Do you feel complete, Spencer?
Yeah,
You're doing great, by the way.
Boba, thank you. I got really into Boba right before quarantine. I know I'm like 10 years too late, but I was like, they've been hiding this from me. This drink is delicious, and now I just miss it all the more.
You just discovered Boba?
Yeah, I know. Weird, right? I didn't discover it, but I was resistant to it because I hate tapioca. Anyway, this is a segment. No. This should be our food segment.
Okay,
you can make it from home, and I'll show you how.
Okay. Yeah, we're fine. Oh, important information, because I actually would also like to know this. Two things. I do think there's probably some boba places that you can still get boba to go. And then two is that it's a very different kind of tapioca, as you now know. So
As
it's like a whole different tapioca situation. That's involved.
Once you learn how to make the tapioca and the sugar syrup, all the rest of it comes.
Oh wow! Well, if that's in Mandalorian season 2, I am in.
Are we drinking boba?
Oh, we're drinking boba. We're drinking straight boba. It's
bobas.
You know, some weird alien slug poops out all those little balls, and then they mix it with some blue milk, and that's a Star Wars beverage, baby.
That's delicious. That's a delicious bit of poop. Hey, speaking of a delicious bit of poop, we're going to be talking about National Treasure a little bit later. We're going to be talking about what he should steal and who should be the new Nick Cage. We have a lot of information for you. And we're also going to reveal my favorite holiday ever, my holiday of choice, in a later segment. But for now, we'd like to thank you. Thank you for joining us every day, for hitting that like, hitting that bell. Thank you for joining us in this first hour, which is so important, and being with us live. We have some fun things coming up for you. We're going to do live SJUs. We know there's been kind of like some back and forth with the schedule recently, but we want to get clear on that and stay committed. During this time of quarantine, we are going to be having videos for you Monday through Thursday every single week. We might have surprise extra videos outside of that. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. But we will have videos for you Monday through Thursday every single week. We will have SJUs Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then on Tuesdays, we're just going to surprise you. Stay tuned. Keep alert. Keep you on your toes. We want to keep it interesting. This relationship needs spice, after all. We want to keep the passion going and the romance. We want our lovemaking to be sweet, is what I'm trying to say. Speaking of which, we have all kinds of exciting treats for you in addition to what we normally do. We have the video AMA series, Hey Fandom, that we've been doing. Thank you for the claps, Ryan. I don't get any credit from anyone but Ryan ever, and it's really because he's the most junior person on our team, but I still appreciate it. Hey Fandom has been a really fun series that we've been doing, which is a video AMA where you, thank you, Ryan, thumbs up. You get to answer and ask your own, you don't answer them, the person does, but you get to ask your own questions of the people that we bring on. We have another one coming up tomorrow, hosted by the extraordinary and the fabulous and the wonderful Danielle Radford. It is with She-Ra showrunner Noelle Stevenson tomorrow at noon. So right after SJU, you can look forward to that. We'll have another one on Thursday with Greg Nicotero of The Walking Dead. But tomorrow, make sure to stay tuned for the She-Ra Hey Fandom AMA, and you can ask your own questions. With that in mind, Danielle hosted one for us last week with Zach Stenson. It was fabulous. He was amazing and such a fun guest. He gives so many insight. Like, I literally think fans of the kinds of movies that he's written, like Thor and X-Men, First Class, would love this chat. So I really do recommend that you watch the whole thing. But for now, we'll tease you with a little clip.
Our approach was very different than the one that you saw on screen. It was similar in the sense that we used that, like that movie, we used the Ultimates as the basis much more than the original continuity. It was kind of our two big things that we drew on were the first run of the Ultimates, and then the Ed Brubaker books of Doom, and I would say it was a lot more similar in tone to X-Men First Class. And it was, I like to say it was the script was the tragedy of how the Fantastic Four were nearly the Fantastic Five. That originally, that even though he was this dark, difficult guy, originally Victor Von Doom was a dear friend of Reed, as in the original continuity. But unfortunately, through the events that we depicted, he was a too wounded, too damaged, and too angry character to accept his own heroism, and he made the choice to go down the very dark path to become the armored megalomaniac we all know and love. But this is, you're supposed to actually, you're supposed to enjoy the team coming together, but there's also a certain degree of sadness and tragedy of the fact that they have to fight someone who decided that power was more important than friendship.
Oh, the friendship, I say, is more important than power. Thoughts? Anyway, these Hey Fandoms are in support of Direct Relief, which is again coordinating to deliver much needed equipment to the medical workers right on the front line of COVID all over the world. It's a really great organization. We're going to continue to support this organization and also weave in some other ones because we realize that the long-term effects of this crisis include food shortages and things of that nature. But we really appreciate you guys supporting that. And we appreciate you guys supporting us. It really does mean the whole world to us. So thanks for sticking with us and having fun with us. Danielle, amazing job as always. Again, you can catch her hosting a Hey Fandom with Shira Showrunner tomorrow at noon, and you should definitely stay tuned for that. I did one for John Wick on Friday night. Anyway, it's 2 years ago now, but it was Friday night with Chad Stahelski, and we're going to have some clips from that coming out as well soon. So having a ton of fun with this series. We hope you guys are too. National Treasure, Joe Starr, this is via Collider. Catch me up on what's going on with that Nick Cage and this crazy franchise.
Well, they're going to make a third movie, but then they're going to make a show with a younger cast that doesn't involve Nick Cage, which begs the question for me, why do I care about not Nick Cage stealing? I'm glad we're getting a third movie with some Rage in the Cage, but I think a show without Nick Cage is just Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. I think it just feels like something that's going to try to teach me things.
Well, we don't want to learn anything, certainly. So just to give a little bit of context, this is via an interview with Jerry Bruckheimer, and this was done via Collider. And what he said was that they were a little further along on the show. That was going for Disney Plus, and again, it's going to have a younger cast. How young isn't clear. So Joe asked us the impossible.
I'm hoping babies.
Yeah, you asked, I thought, in a really impossible question, which was, there were two questions. One was, what should Nick Cage steal in part 3? And I think we all have answers for that. The other one was, who do they cast as the young, who's got Nick Cage energy? And the answer for me, Joe, was no one. The only person that I could think of that even comes close to having maybe an ability to translate that kind of energy is Jessica Roth from Happy Death Day, who I love and I think is amazing. But then I saw your hair, and Joe, I think it's you. Yeah, I do. I think you're the new younger Nick Cage. Yeah.
I am weird enough. I am desperate enough for money. Yeah, I'll do it. You know what, guys? Enjoy the rest of the show. I'm going to get this started.
Okay.
I got to become Nick Cage.
Oh, Sarah's leaving.
This is exciting.
Sarah can stay. She doesn't need to be
She's
Nick
part
Cage.
of the costume. He's going to sew her to the inside of his jacket as a talisman.
Very good. Danielle, who's got that Nick Cage energy?
I think if you're trying to do more of a one-to-one, I know that we're past the point where it's like, just pick a Stranger Thing and put them in another thing. But I do think that Joe Keery, who is Steve from Stranger Things, I think that he would be able to pull off some of that chaotic, sweet Nick Cage energy in those movies.
All right. Spencer, do you have an answer? And then we have to say what they're going to steal at National Treasure.
I mean, I refuse to participate in an idea this bad. You're not going to find some young. I mean, maybe Shia, a few years ago, maybe 2007 Britney Spears. I don't know if we have the technology, but I think probably, I don't know if he's younger than Nick Cage, maybe by a year or two, or he's probably older. Jean-Claude Van Damme, but as Colonel Guile from the Street Fighter movies, I think that's the hero America deserves right now.
So you're saying Van Damme playing Guile, playing Nick Cage.
No, just like the new National Treasure Day. It's like Nick Cage is dead. Only one man is a bad enough dude to replace him. Colonel Guile from the Street Fighter movie.
Yeah.
I think definitely you're right about Shia, but he's probably too old for the young cast.
It's hard, right? Because it's like Nick Cage is B-movie instincts in a prestige actor's
body.
So it's real weird because it's not because he's bad, but he's good, and he's good, but he's also bad. Andy's weird.
It's
Andy's
a rare
not.
gift. It's a rare gift. I watched the remake. I had Jessica Roth on the mind because I watched the remake of Valley Girl, which of course made me think of Nick Cage because that was his first movie. His first starring role was Valley Girl in 1983, as we all know, which actually is a really good movie. But Nick Cage has always had that. It's like okay. The Rock is a good modern, like quippy action hero because just beneath the surface of his one-liners, he's laughing too. And just beneath the surface of Nick Cage is like complete madness. At any given moment, it could just spill right out of the seams.
He is the color out of space. Yeah.
Yeah. So very few actors have that quality, have that vibe, plus a lot of talent, to your point, but plus a lot of really bad taste. And a high incidence of doing anything for money. So it's just hard to replace him.
It's tough. He's kind of 101.
Because I was sort of on your boat. I was going to go. My thought was Samara Weaving, but again, that's just someone who can do like unpredictable really well. Like he's so much more than just unpredictable and chaotic. He's just so much more.
I think we need to find a non-actor.
Okay.
Someone from outside, like a performance artist or something.
Or we just need to call it.
The Blue Man group.
All of
the Blue Man group, all of them could play. Okay.
Legions.
So we know who the young Nick Cage is. It's the Blue Man group. With that in mind, what should the actual Nick Cage steal in the third movie?
If we're talking about stealing something that is a national treasure, I think the only one that holds true right now is Tom Hanks. I think that Nick Cage has to steal Tom Hanks.
Well, that goes along with mine, which is like he's not unlike, if you look at National Treasure now with 2020 eyes, you realize that it's very prophetic because it's about the slow and methodical dismantling of the United States. And so in this one, I think they just heist America. I don't know where they put us. You just all of America. You just steal the whole goddamn thing. You put us in a mountain. You put us in a dimension. You put us in space. But you're heisting America.
I'm imagining Nick Cage as Bugs Bunny, just like over a map of America and just rolling it down,
heisting it
in his pocket.
Carmen Sandiego, like you're saying, just with enough helicopters and enough tow cables, they just lift it over to Europe.
No learning. If I even start to suspect they're going to teach me something, I'm out.
But how are you going to know? Look, he has to put it in certain places so it sticks. And if you don't know what the capital of Washington is, then the story is not going to make any sense to you.
It's true.
That's a clue, not a lesson.
Okay.
I think I want him to rescue someone because not only did this person not kill themselves, but they're also not dead.
Oh, no.
And they have all the secrets. I think Nick Cage has to rescue Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, no.
Bohemian Grove bunker he's been hidden in. That's my National Treasure 3, man.
Hey, bye. Kevin Spacey. I was going to go How High with it, and it's like he needs to steal the Founding Fathers' ashes and Thomas Jefferson's original hemp patch, and by smoking them, he can resurrect the Constitutional Convention to come back and save America. Like maybe some bad guys triggered a Constitutional Convention, and he's going to put in a new amendment to like make America evil. And so he's got to smoke the Founding Fathers.
Can you imagine though some of the perspectives in the Constitutional Convention? Like
what,
they're
the new one or
the one that you're resurrecting, they're gonna save America from being evil. They made some really bad decisions.
Well, bye guys. I guess I don't work on the
show. It's a movie.
I don't work on the show anymore, so
back to Jeffrey Epstein. I watched How High with my parents. That was a weird night.
It was for people who may have missed How High, that I did crib the plot, and it's a Method Man and who else is it?
Redman.
And Redman, so the men. Dancers to get into Harvard.
I think we're living How High right now. Here's the thing. If you guys in the comments, you vote for which one of our objects or people or He's not really stealing. I guess he's stealing an object in order to resurrect the Constitutional Convention and Spencer's. Vote for your favorite in the comments below. And if you, Joe, what do they have to do to get an unlock? And then what's the unlock?
They have to prove that Jeffrey Epstein.
No.
Okay, Joe's done with the unlocks, but we'll give you a special treat as revealed by Ryan tomorrow. Ryan will now be in charge of the unlocks and what you have to do for them. But vote for your favorite. They should just, you know what? I think there's probably some combination of what we all offered that actually works. But for now, I think I'm going, Danielle, I'll just go with yours.
You're just picking off a dart.
Yeah, you delight me. That's why. Sad news in the world today, but also remembering somebody who is an incredible talent in our world. Jerry Stiller, actor and comedic star. He passed away. He was 92 years old. This is Ben Stiller's tweet. He says, "I'm so sad to say that my father, Jerry Stiller, passed away from natural causes. He was a great dad and grandfather and the most dedicated husband to Anne for about 62 years, which is in and of itself incredible." She says, "He will be greatly missed. Love you, Dad." So just wanted to share that and open up thoughts on Jerry Stiller and his legacy. Probably, I think for most folks watching this, I could be wrong, best known for Seinfeld. And the person, I associate him 100% with my holiday of choice, which is, of course, Festivus. Has been, always will be my number one holiday of choice. It's the only holiday that I will willfully celebrate. Spencer GIlbert.
Yeah. I mean, for sure, he's a legend. Frank Costanza is one of the all-time great comedy characters of all time. You mentioned Festivus. Serenity Now is something I still shout. The bro, the man's ear. There's so many moments that stick with me from that show. And then, again, like he did so much before this period of time, before Seinfeld and before like Maury Ballstein on Zoolander is one of my other favorite comedy characters. But like just reading up about him, like how he had this amazing Broadway career and on stage and was in Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3 that I didn't realize he was a part of. So he's had an amazing life, an amazing career, and everyone only has the best things to say about him. So,
he touched so many important stages of comedy that it's insane. Like he was a Compass player. The Compass players begat Second City, which begat everything. I mean, he started with them, and then the Ed Sullivan Show stuff, and then to be able to come back and do something like Seinfeld, and sort of continue forward and start doing really absurd. You only show up when I talk about that.
I gotta say, it's really incredible how she can so pull focus when you're making a very deep and salient point.
You have no teeth, and it's so sad. But just like the breadth of that guy's career, and also just the fact that someone in comedy was married to their partner for 62, 65 years, and not just their partner, but they were a comedy duo. That's crazy. Yes. They worked together, they performed together, they were like a package deal for a long, long time. And I think that's incredibly rare and special. And Jesus, Sarah. And I mean, just an incredible dude.
Yeah, that's exactly
what you have with Sarah is also very rare and special. Danielle, I think you're going to echo.
No, yeah, that's exactly what I was going to talk about. Is just like having such a long career and the fact that he was able to do it. I mean, obviously, love, people find the love, but like being able to have such a connection with someone that they can not only be, your partner in life and you raise kids together, but also your partner in writing and your partner in comedy and your partner in business. That's a lot of stuff. That's like really hard. There are people who work together and do these things that have to do couples therapy just because they're writing partners or because they're whatever. It's very difficult to balance all of these things. And the fact that he got to not only be so incredibly talented and have a career so special with the person that he built his entire life with, he lived long enough to see children reach success, to see Ben Stiller become the most famous person in the world for 10 years. 92 years old, man, you can't even be mad. Like, what a life. We should all be so lucky, honestly.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think even just the marriage alone, to your points, was enough to impress me because, as anyone who is in a relationship knows, relationships, period, are just really hard. To your point, Danielle, that's a lot of relationships in one to manage.
Yeah.
And a creative partnership has its challenges, a relationship has its challenges. And now you're combining those two things, as Sarah and Joe very well know. Sometimes you need a little help from the outside. The only thing that I was thinking while you were talking about it, that is that I wonder in a weird way, if it helps to combine them, because probably if you work through one issue, it's like got a reverberating effect through these other dynamics of your relationship. Like whatever the tension points are, but romantically probably also reflect the creative tension points.
But also I will definitely say I don't want notes while I'm also yelling at you about why you're not doing the dishes. Like, well, why didn't you put your plate in the dishes? Why didn't you finish your draft? No, those are different. I need those to be separate.
Yeah. Well, you also don't want to get notes in a bunch of different areas, probably. From your partner.
So I have some notes I was taking. So position 1B, that was doing great for a while, but I feel like you just went on to it, wanted way too long, and kind of lost the moment. Yeah, no,
Good. We'll end there. Bye. It was a good show, though. We did good today. You did anyway. I was kind of a mess. Spencer, you're doing great.
You're looking great. You're doing great. Everything's
killing
great.
Quarantine life. Killing it. But
yeah.
Ryan, end it, please.
Jonathan, please.